So you're trying to tell me I invented Gangnam Style? We invented Gangnam Style.
I feel like that was before.
We invented the double chocolate chip cookie.
I invented Hagtua.
I invented Hagtua. You're telling me we invented Hagtua. What did I say? What did I say?
Back shots.
No, I never said back shots. Never said back shots.
Oh.
I might have.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't know. We did get a little bit of a lecture in the car on the way back.
Yeah.
About how back shots is immature and not funny.
Well, mainly about how most of our humour is immature and not funny. But you guys are on our side, surely, right?
Yeah, surely.
Maybe not. It depends if you're listening to this and playing it back to Jake and Marty in the interrogation office at your local police station.
Yeah, that could very well happen in the near future, considering what we've been up to as of late.
Considering Jake's segment, I hit a body, here's how I did it.
Welcome back to the Jake and Marty podcast. We're going to start straight in with some chit-chat. Now, I don't know why I'm looking at my notes, but I know why now.
It's a chicken bake. It's got chicken and cheese.
And on that note, happy Father's Day to all our chicken bakes out there.
Happy Father's Day.
To all our big justices. No, not Big Justice. What's his name?
Big AJ?
Yeah, AJ or something. Oh, to all our AJs out there.
Shout
Double chunk chocolate cookie.
Happy Father's Day to AJ Tracy. AJ Tracy live and direct.
That guy. Happy birthday to him. So
you know we live for the discount, son.
Here's a quick note I wanted to touch on. Father's Day, everyone be posting their fathers on their story. And I feel like recently, I feel like a lot of fathers have been getting around the Instagram kind of vibe. Mine hasn't. But I feel like now, because I haven't posted it, everyone's looking at me, everyone's going, Jake, why haven't you posted your dad? And I just want to say, I'm not a bad guy. My dad doesn't have Instagram, so I don't see the point of me posting Happy Father's Day, Dad, and for everyone but my dad to see it.
Yeah. My dad does have Instagram, but I don't do that. I don't really post on Instagram.
Me neither.
You post on Instagram more than I do, a lot more than I do.
Yeah, but that's only because I'm... I
think we have 312 now posts on our Instagram.
Yeah.
I'd say that 12, that's me. Actually, no, probably not, because I do post every second week. I'll be posting those podcast announcements. But other than that, I haven't done much. But still to this day stands as possibly the most pure Jake and Marty content out there.
Yeah. The best
minus Frank and Marty. That's pretty pure.
That's the purest. That's like the most Jake and Marty of all.
Yeah, it's like the meth that Walter White cooks. Yeah, that's Frank and Marty. But the meth that Jesse cooks after he gets a little bit better at cooking meth, that's the Jake and Marty Instagram. And
then the rest of Jake and Marty podcast is the meth that had the chili pea in it.
Yeah. What did he call himself? He called him Captain Cook?
Yeah, Captain Cook.
Captain Cook.
That's
sick
crazy.
Name. That's a cool name. Can you guys start calling me Captain Cook? Captain Pod? Professor Pod?
You guys got to start calling me Jake. Can we just start doing that instead of...
Yeah. Oh, you've got a lot of nicknames out there.
Yeah.
I don't think you know half of them. I'm spreading half of them.
Loser, Batman enthusiast, I got called the other day.
Did you really?
But imagine if I did.
Strobes. Jizzleberry.
So anyway, something else. What else did we get up to this week? I wonder. I ponder.
Snowing?
Snow.
We snowed it.
No,
it was a good trip.
Yeah,
it was a fun trip.
I had
not much snow, but hopefully next year. You guys will see it in a video after this pod. Hopefully before next pod. Definitely before next pod. I got a lot of time to edit that thing. But so you'll see a bit more about the adventures there. I do think we could have got more film of what we were doing off snow.
Yeah.
I wish we would have pulled the camera out or got Jem to pull the camera out while we were playing pool.
That was intense.
But once the drink started sinking, the thought of you guys and Jake and Marty just slipped into the back of the mine, and the thought of beating those scumbags in pool, that was at the forefront. Potentially the only thing in the forefront of my mind.
Is people be like, what's your red flag? What's your beige flag? What's your green flag? I would say my flag while sober is Jake. And that's a pride flag. And but as soon as the drink starts sinking, it starts getting a little bit less colourful. Yeah. And it just goes...
It's a German flag, but like 1940s.
Yeah, it's like just bright red. It's not a red flag, but it's an IC.
It's a burgundy flag.
It's an IC red flag.
Yeah.
And it means I'm coming for you. Don't come up and say, no, we're not going to play threes with you. We're not going to play threes in pool. Damn well knowing you're not even a part of this game, you just lost.
Yeah. And frankly, he booted Jem out of the race because we wanted to play threes, and he said no, and then later said, well, actually, I don't even think he told me he wasn't playing. He just wandered off, and I was like, well, I guess he's not playing.
But the other guys were pretty mean. I didn't like them.
No, I liked one of them. One of them was the older guy. He was chill.
The guy with the cool jacket, he was cool.
The guy with the goatee that looked slightly painted on, or
the small one.
Yeah, he had that little dog syndrome that they talk about, where he clearly a bit shorter, which is okay than a lot of the people around him. But like, what's not okay is how much he tried to compensate for that and the way he acted. And
he thought he was the most important person in the room. You could tell.
But that's what I kind of mean.
Yeah. So I just didn't like that.
Like, he's down there and he's like, guys, I'm here. Like, he's been doing that his whole life for sure.
Yeah.
Which I feel sorry for him about. But when I try to shake your hand and you're like, put out your bloody knuckles, which we were just playing pool, man. Why are your knuckles bleeding?
Yeah.
What, did you punch someone? What happened? You won the game of pool as well.
I think everyone apart from those guys. So we went there 2 nights in a row, and
I know it's September Jam of the Month.
You already got one.
I got one. It's just hit September, so I'm allowed to say now. It is. Oh, his name, Dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks, yeah. I forgot his name as well, but I follow him on Instagram, so I'll figure it out.
He's got to be Jam of the Month.
He's got to be. He was the best. Everyone else we met up there was like lovely and nice. Oh, I say bar one, who was just about to get a shoulder into the grass, into the dirt. Pink jacket.
No.
Pink jacket.
No, because she's going to come up in the video. She's going to get a whole... Yeah, she'll come up in the video. She'll get a whole monologue.
All I'm going to say is pink jacket, watch out. Watch out next year. Jake's going to be better. Jake's going to have his own gear. And he's going to hip and shoulder.
She might be finished ski school by then, though.
No, she's not.
Not the way she was.
Come on. She hadn't even had poles yet. Even I had poles.
Oh, yeah. Nah, she had a real attitude about her.
Yeah.
But that was okay. Other than that, snow was really positive. It was a good middle day.
It was a good
trip, but
it was fun.
Would have loved a bit more skiing / snowboarding. So,
yeah. All in all, great trip. Just I didn't like how people were attacking me because apparently my loyalties don't lie with Jake and Marty.
I don't get that reference.
Because apparently I went running off with the love of my life while you guys kept skiing, and then it was a big thing.
It wasn't a big thing. It was something. Gemma noticed it,
yeah,
and wanted to make a point of saying it.
Yeah,
but we were okay.
Yeah,
like it was fine. Like, we didn't miss you.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh, we did. Clearly. All right, that's enough chit chat. It was a really good snow trip. Find out more in a video coming soon if you're interested. That was a great little vid promo.
Yeah, that was very good.
Leave me alone.
This segment is called "Leave the Door Open" or "Leave Me Alone," and this is basically for you younger generation that don't get the olden days reference. If you just went on a date with someone and you were dropping her home, you walked her home and let her in the door. If she left the door open, it was basically like, "Come on up," you know.
Oh,
yeah. Leave me alone, complete opposite. She doesn't even want to talk to you. So we're going to go through a few messages and we're going to get Marty to rate them. Is it a leave the door open or is it a leave me alone?
I love this.
You know,
I love how you titled the segment based on maybe what you're a bit more familiar with, which is leave me alone.
That's crazy. So this one opens with from the gentleman towards the lady. We're the lady in this situation. Hello, he says. I, the lady, say, hi, who is this? Sorry, I lost some contacts. He says, this might sound very creepy, lol. I'm pretty sure I saw you at blank, and you were getting your eyebrows done right before me. Remember, I memorized your number when you gave it to the lady. I'm sorry, you are very pretty. Next message. I apologize. I work with numbers for a living, and it's kind of stuck in my head. I'm actually a really nice guy. My name is blank.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Pretty please. You're remembering my number why are you at a nail salon?
I don't know.
Is that what it was? A nail salon?
Yeah, or eyebrows or something. Yeah.
What are you doing there? Like, I know guys can go and get you can do whatever you want. I understand the way the world's, but what are you doing? What are you doing there by yourself?
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
I mean, he might have just been getting his eyebrows or something.
Or he could have been there with his girlfriend, which makes it even.
But that's even worse. Yeah. That's leave me alone plus
sort yourself out.
Yeah, look at leave me alone, but go find a mirror and take a good hard look at yourself. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, memorizing the number is crazy when they're not even giving it to you. Eavesdropping and then memorizing the number. That's and then weird. Trying to justify it by what you work with numbers. What do you like? What are you still learning? Like,
what do you like? A 000?
That doesn't give me any spectrum of what you do. That gives me you could be anywhere between a statistician or a preschool teacher.
Yeah,
you still work with numbers.
Yeah,
I work with numbers.
So this one has a bit of context which we're sort of out of. But from what I understand is that they've had a previous conversation in person, and it was about a spider or something. So he says, is this the chick that was looking for a spider? She says, yes. He says, okay, I still don't have a spider, but you were cool to talk to. She says, how'd you get my number? He pulls out the classic line. Do you want the short story or the long story? She says, long. He says, well... If the people hadn't came in, I was going to explain that you should text me sometime, in brackets, which is why I had my business card ready, in brackets again, that's my personal and business number, end brackets. But I forgot to mention those parts, so I had to decide to be patient and see if you came in again, or be impatient, and look on the security camera for when you called, and checked on my phone for which number called at that time. If any of that seems too creepy for you, I understand, but it's what I do. Blank emoji.
This one's tough because she's clearly an oddball. She's trying to buy a spider. That's my first red flag for her. This one's tough. This one's very tough because it's definitely not leave the door open. So it's going to have to be leave me alone. But I'm going to go with mystery number 3 and say try again.
Yeah.
Which is... I just think he missed a couple opportunities there to really lay down the paint. If he thought he had a chance. Once again, this could come off creepier, but he could have said something like, hey, are you the chick that wanted the spider? Yeah, that's me. I found one for you. Oh, really? It's a daddy long legs. Eggplant emoji. Emoji. Devil emoji.
It's the big daddy long legs in his hand.
It's a daddy long legs. Sends That's crazy. Jake and Marty get a big leave me alone on that
one. So I think it's crazy that he scrubbed the security footage to find out her number. If that happened to me, I might be a little bit flattered, but then I'd probably be leave me alone. And also, I think with all these, if you have to preface this saying, I know this might seem creepy, or if this seems creepy to you, I'm sorry. You probably shouldn't be messaging.
But that's why I say try again. And I don't mean try again in this situation. I mean, next time, let's make some adjustments. Yeah. First of all, I think the daddy long legs line was a bit borderline, but warm her up to that. I think that should have been the end goal, was the daddy long legs line. I think it could have worked. Maybe. Without the But... No, that's crazy. However, what were we just talking about?
What about a redback shot? The daddy long legs.
Before that.
Try again.
No, but it was something in his message.
I'm creepy.
Yeah, the I'm creepy thing. Confidence is key whenever talking to a female or a male. Like whenever trying to enter courtship. Okay, I meant male is it?
Yeah. No, we get it.
We got it. Confidence is key. Never premise something with "you're not gonna like this," essentially, because then it's already in her head. This is possible. This is almost, and especially a guy to a girl. Yeah. As soon as if I'm a girl and a guy goes, "This could come off as creepy," I'm like, "Oh, here we go again."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I 100% agree.
Yeah, I think confidence is key there. So I'd give that a try again, but for now, leave me alone.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Next one. So the guy sent a message, and we're jumping in at the girl's response. Hey, to be honest, this is kind of creepy, lol. Which of my friends gave you my number? And then she sent another message. Wait, crying, laughing emoji. Rewind. How'd you find my friends? He said, I searched you on Insta, and you follow some people I know, so I asked about you.
That's not creepy, in my opinion.
Her response was...
Now, I say that's not creepy, not because that's something I would necessarily do. Once again, I wouldn't do any of this. I'm in a very healthy relationship with my girlfriend. However, I don't think going in... if you see someone, like, get a name or something, I don't think it's that creepy to sort of... You know, it's pretty common now to social media stalk them to sort of get in contact. I don't think that would...
But here's the bit that I think makes it creepy, and she brings it up as well. I'm not even being funny, but don't you think it's a little less creepy just to follow me on Instagram instead of asking around for my number?
Yeah, I agree with that. I have to...
That's my go-to move. Follow on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that... Yeah, so he probably should have just... Once again, but that comes down to a confidence thing. Yeah. He clearly got there and was like, I don't feel confident. I need to be wingman here. You don't need to be wingman, my brother.
Yeah.
Hit that follow button. Wait 7 weeks for a reply. You know, do what you got to do.
Get left on red.
Yeah, it's a cold world out there. You know, get blocked on Instagram. Go to Facebook. Get blocked on Facebook. Go to Snapchat. End up on Reddit. Craigslist.
Here's the last one. It's a photo of like a schedule. The dude sent it and said, here's the schedule. We have said, the lady, hey, I think you have the wrong number. Then he says, then what is your number? Because I have phone number. She says, that is my number. And then he says, okay, so why do you say I have the wrong number? She says, because I'm not ... the person you're trying to text.
Leave the door open for him.
That is an invite.
That is nothing but just a what do they call it? Like that is a golden retriever man right there. He is spaced out and just not currently with us.
If I have ever seen if I had to sum that photo up in one word, it would be pregnancy.
How?
That would just
you want to what? Oh yeah, no, that's the type of store meeting. That's the type of how did we meet story that is told within a picket fence and around a nice warm campfire with a couple of little ones listening in.
See, I don't have a story like that, which is why I don't have a picket fence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we should all be out there looking for a story along those lines, because that's really the end game. But I'm glad you were able to share some messages from your inbox with us, Jake. I think you really improved in the last one there.
Yeah, thank you.
Just for the sake of the podcast, those weren't actually Jacob's messages.
Yeah, let's just clear that up. And neither was the Daddy Long Legs thing.
That was me.
That was Marty. Oh, that's getting cut. Anyway.
All right. Marty's Mind Busters. Now, yes, sounds a lot like Morty's Mind Blowers. And it's not even on the same wavelength, but sounds cool, so we're going to stick with it. These were some questions that I wanted to ask you.
Yep.
So you've got some questions for me? Or you got some...
Yeah.
I've got some questions for you, and these are questions that bounced around in my mind for actually a little while now. That some of these have been in my notes for a little bit, but they've finally made enough to get a full segment out of it, so I hope they're good enough questions, because they are seriously ones that I wouldn't say unironically want to know, but actually do want to know. But like, there is a bit of irony. Like, irony is a bit crazy. I'm trying to not get cancelled here. These are questions I want to know.
Yeah,
and you're gonna give me your opinion on them. So, I got three big ones for us. First one came to mind actually today. This was actually a serious question because there was a lady at work who was missing an arm. And I got the urge. I didn't do it. And I especially didn't do it because I was at work. I maybe would have done it if it was in person. But I got the urge to, like, ask her how it happened. I just wanted to know because it looked like it was like one of those half-arm things. So she clearly lost it in some type of accident, I guess. And so my question was, is it rude to ask a disabled person how they became disabled? And I meant pretty physically disabled, like a arm missing, a foot missing, a leg missing, maybe like paralyzed. I don't know where we draw the line, but for me, if I was disabled, you know, maybe there would need to be a bit of, you know, foreplay there before you just drop that on me. But I in the store, I just wanted to ask you out of interest, what happened to the arm? But I thought, first of all, I'm not going to do it because I'm at work. If I wasn't at work, I still don't feel like I could do it. No,
I've been in this situation before where I'm curious, but I don't reckon I'd ever ask unless I knew the person really well.
Because if I had a story, like if I had lost an arm, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. But say it came from like a shark attack or like something cool. You know what I mean? The very least I can take from this bad situation is a good story.
Yeah.
And now I don't even get to tell that story because people think it's too rude to ask me.
If I got my arm bitten off by a shark attack,
I would have a t-shirt.
Have a tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, a tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A t-shirt that just also missed the same sleeve.
I would probably have a hat that said, lost it in a shark attack.
Yeah.
Sharks beware.
If I...
Lost and found. If found, please return
to the shark that stole my watch.
That's good. Yeah. So that was one of those sort of borderline questions. I was like, I don't know if I can ask this, but I do want to.
Yeah.
So can we get an answer?
Yeah.
We had an answer, I suppose. You got to foreplay it.
Yeah, you got to foreplay. So if I ever lose something, foreplay me first.
All right, next. This was a very personal one for me. I'm not a big hugger.
Yeah.
Or like, I think you're a little bit similar. Maybe you aren't. I don't know. No, I do hug, but I don't. Even strangers is a stretch because like even people I know and like my friends, like people like my co-workers, I wouldn't feel comfortable like giving any of my co-workers a hug, and that's nothing against co-workers. I'm just too awkward. And so my girlfriend, hug her all the time. It's great. My parents, like I would give my brother a hug. I give my sister a hug. I give you a hug. But there's probably not many more out there. You know, if my friend is like in need of, I think, a hug, I would go and give him a hug. But I'll just get to the question before you answer.
Yeah.
Unless you have something that you want to jump in.
I feel like I'm similar, where I won't hug strangers, but on a certain situation, because I've had like. I only like hug my friends, and I'm a big hugger. Like if I'm really close with you, like I find it a great way just to express that I care about you and whatnot. But then it comes to like, but just randomly, like people will just open up to me about stuff they're going through, and I suck with words as soon as it gets to it. Like I'm just like, do you want a hug?
Yeah.
And people take it like every time, and then they're like, oh, thank you so much. That really made my day. Works for me because I didn't have to say anything.
Yeah, 100%. So I reckon I could count on my fingers how many people I would hug upon greeting, or more so hug maybe upon leaving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there'd be like my grandparents would probably be in that, my parents would be in that, maybe you, but even that's like a bit dicey. Not like I just wouldn't. I'd probably not think to do that first.
Maybe with the gay allegations floating around, we just
trying to dodge those. Girlfriend would give her a hug. You know, siblings would give them hugs. But it's a pretty finite list. But there are people out there that hug upon greeting, maybe hug upon leaving, like all the time to like everyone, because they're just big huggers. Then I started thinking a bit more. You know, my parents do it to their friends upon greeting almost anyone. It's a hug and a kiss on the cheek. And I thought...
Go back a generation, kiss with tongue.
No, my thought was, when will it become a standard to give a hug and a kiss on the cheek upon greeting someone? In brackets, because I'm terrified. I'm terrified for that to be the standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I see, like my mum. Maybe it's just my mum. Like my parents will see someone that they haven't seen in a long time. Maybe they were once close to, but haven't seen in ages. They'll go up and say, "Oh my god, has it been a long time?" Like hug, maybe a kiss on the cheek as well. And I'm like, am I awkward? Am I from like a dead generation or a disappointed generation? Because that terrifies me to have to do that.
I've had it happen to me before. Someone came up.
Not terrified, that's probably a stretch, but
I don't remember who it was, but I remember it so clearly. They came up and they were like going around and they were giving like a kiss, a hug and a kiss on the cheek to everyone. Like,
yeah.
And they came to me and I said, "Don't you dare."
No, those situations actually freak me out.
Yeah, I said like, "Don't you dare." I said, I will shake your hand.
I certainly think there's an aura you can give off that people majority of the time pick up if they're good enough, which is I think because I've noticed that I pretty much give off that aura. I feel bad a little bit, but I don't, because it just makes me feel awkward. But when someone's going around being like, "Oh my god, hug! Oh my god, hug!" and I'm sitting there like, I really don't want to. I'm really excited to see you. I'm really excited to talk to you, hear what you've been up to, but I just don't want to hug you.
Yeah,
I just don't. I'll give you a handshake. I'll give you a high five. I'll give you a fist bump. Yeah, is probably my ideal choice 100% of the time. A hug isn't my ideal choice ever. Man, woman, doesn't matter. Never, like, just isn't my choice. And I don't think it comes from any less affection or care towards that person. Yeah, it's just my own mental. So when that becomes hopefully I'll grow out of it. Maybe it's an age thing. Yeah. Maybe it's a generational thing. I'm hoping it's a generational thing, because that means I'll never be in the outer. Because it's just not my cup of tea at the moment. Lastly, and this one, so we've got one that came from, one was out of interest, one was out of fear. This one's out of personal experience. Yeah. So this was me driving back from Bulla, not when we went, the week before when I went to work. Driving back, and I saw a police had pulled over a man maybe, in their car. And no word of a lie, I see this police officer who's like opened their door, so they're kind of like behind their door and just getting out of the car, like they've just pulled them over, gets out of the car, like kind of turns, and like I made eye contact with him. I don't know if he saw me through the windscreen, but I make eye contact with him, and he brings up a vape. He rips a vape and like fat cloud right. It was country town, so maybe. Yeah. But he hits the vape right after pulling someone over. And so my question was, is it socially acceptable for a police officer to vape during pulling someone over? Because personally, I don't think that's an appropriate spot to vape. No, especially given they're now illegal.
Yeah. I don't think that's appropriate.
I mean, he could have had a medical certificate for it. It didn't look like one of those disposable ones that the kids eat. It looked like a proper one. But I still think that's very unprofessional to A, do it in uniform, but B, do it just after you pulled someone over. Yeah. Like, it's a bit unprofessional. Like, I reckon on the walk down there, is he going to like be stumbling with a head spin? Like,
if I was a police officer and I vaped, I reckon I'd pull people over that did nothing wrong, just so I could hop out of the car so people aren't suspect. Smells like that. Like, smells like vape in the car. Hop out of the car, hit it, walk up, say, "Oh, you're free to go. I just need to hit." And then like, go off. That's probably what he did.
Speaking of vapes, I had a great thing happen to me today. So our bathrooms at work, I'd say 70% of the time, sewage problems. Like, they stink, like, real bad. Like, they're nice bathrooms, really modern. So when they don't stink, like, it's a good experience. When they stink, it's horrible. Today they were actually not too bad, but they were starting to stink up. I think throughout the day they start to stink up. I don't know if the septic tank gets clogged up and whatnot, and that's how it happens. But I go for my last bathroom break of the day. Yeah, I usually have like 2-ish. You gotta really you gotta utilize them well. And so I went for my bathroom break, and I went in there and I saw, I'm not gonna say who, but I saw one of the people I work with walking out of the bathroom, and he was the only one in there. And I go to take a seat, sit down. I'm thinking, this doesn't stink in here. And I go to take a whiff, because as everyone does as they go to a public bathroom, they go to take a whiff. And I took a whiff, and bubblegum. Whole place smelled like Hubba Bubba bubblegum. It smelled beautiful. Yeah. And I was like, okay, there's a chance he's brought some air freshener in because it stunk. There is a chance. There's a chance he just popped some Hubba Bubs right after taking a little piddle. But I reckon he's just hit the chuffer. And frankly, I'm okay with that. Because, maybe he was clogged up and maybe he needed that laxative. And I hope it worked well for him. But as far as I'm concerned, I could sit here for the next half hour and just take in the Hubba-Bubs. Hubba-Bubs while shitting is crazy.
That's crazy.
So, wait, we didn't answer the last question. So, hugging upon entry point.
No go.
No go?
Just maybe ask for
catch
consent
the vibe
first.
Yeah,
or feel it.
Yeah,
not feel the person, feel the vibe.
Yeah, catch the vibe for sure. And I'd say police officer vaping during pulling over. No, during
pissing. Yes.
Piddling. Yeah. During pulling up to the public restroom. Feel free.
Yeah.
Feel free, especially if you're going before Marty.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Marty's Mind Busters for this week. New segment. Feeling good about it.
Yeah. Nice segment. I like that. Next segment. 2-sentence horror. This is... I've only got a couple of these, but I think they're good. They're basically horror stories, but you're only allowed 2 sentences. So it's like a quick...
Have you done a segment like this?
Huh?
You've done a segment like
this. Have I?
Before.
I don't know.
I don't think it was called 2-sentence horror, but it was like... Nah, look back at the files, people.
Yeah.
This has come up before.
Jammers clip it. First one we got. This tastes like almonds. My ill-mannered wife, mouthful of cake, blurted out as she ate her last meal. First sentence. Second sentence. That would be the almond extract, I responded, as I pulled the pin from the grenade and slid it across the floor. As you can see, they can be quite entertaining. First sentence is a bit of a long one. Paul had forgotten his...
First sentence is actually 3 sentences.
If it sounds like I'm breaking, it's just because there's a bunch of commas in there. Paul had forgotten his swimsuit. He willingly accepted a white Speedo he borrowed from the party so he wouldn't miss out on the fun. Second sentence. As he swam, he began to notice thin white strands dissolving on the surface.
Was he swimsuit?
Swimsuit, yeah, it was dissolving. It's
How?
one of those dissolving ones. The prank swimsuits.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I think so,
Is that like those like undies that are like lollies that you're meant to eat off your significant other?
Jake Paul, can we get an answer for that?
Okay, first of all, I've never seen it in real life, but it was, if you watch the movie Blended, it's in there.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I don't know about that now. This is the last one. This is a very short segment, but these were the funniest ones I could find. Some of them like actually kind of people took it serious and it just wasn't as funny. First sentence. My noodles were tasting a little off until I looked down and they were actually worms.
Okay, certainly my favourite out of those was the first one.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Was that you wrote those?
No. Oh. No way. I'm not that talented.
Yeah, I was about to say that first one. He or she, they, them should make a career out of that because that was awesome. All right. They got it wrong. Is our next segment.
Yep.
Marty's second of the lot. They got it wrong. I wanted to keep this segment broad because it could come back. It could also not. Marty tends to have an idea that he'll if he says this segment's coming back, it'll just bounce back.
Never does.
Doesn't always work like that. Almost never does. It's like throwing a snowball against a wall. That thing sticks. All right. And we know that because we went to the snow.
We knew that. We knew that.
This segment is... They got it wrong. So I was looking back at some old TV shows and old movies this week, and I found a few character arcs that rubbed me the wrong way. And so this segment's going to be me looking into 3 different TV shows / movies and looking at who was the antagonist or who was painted to be the antagonist versus who was Marty's antagonist.
Yeah.
While I was watching these, who was really rubbing me the wrong way? More so than the antagonist himself.
I reckon I get a lot of these, and I just want them to kill them.
You should do this segment because it really... Getting this off my chest is going to be a big weight off my shoulders. I have ordered them in terms of how much they frustrated me.
Least or most first?
So least is... We're going to build up to the one that frustrated me the most. So first of all, Dr. Doofenshmirtz is painted to be the antagonist of a little show called Phineas and Ferb. He is not the character that rubs me the wrong way. And I think I'm in the majority when I say Candace rubs a lot of people the wrong way. She is a snitch.
Yeah.
She's constantly victimizing herself for, her ability to snitch and rat out her brothers to her mum. Just doesn't hit. First of all, what are you ratting them out for? Frustrates me. They've built a massive roller coaster in your backyard that you refuse to enjoy for God knows why. And then also, you finally, even if you were able to snitch that they've built this roller coaster to your mum, if I'm Phineas and Ferb's parents, I'd be like, we are putting you on a freaking plane to NASA and we're going to go to Mars tomorrow because you guys are clearly insane.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Her whole stance in the show just never made sense to me. Why is she snitching? What is she snitching? And Doofenshmirtz, if you actually look into his backstory, it's quite a tragedy.
Yeah.
The forgotten brother type of thing. So that's one. They got it wrong. Second, little movie called Meet the Robinsons. You've seen it before?
Possibly.
Bowler hat guy. They all hated me. Hey, Goob, want to come play soccer after school?
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
You've never seen Meet the Robinsons, man?
I don't know.
Gems have seen it. Meet the Robinsons. It's that one where the kid goes to the future and meets his family, but he doesn't know it's his family, and the bowler hat guy's after him for whatever, the time machine or something. Bowler hat guy in that movie, also known as Goob, is painted to be the villain of the movie. I mean, it ends up being that actual hat itself is the villain, spoiler alert. But this one was a big one for me because the person who actually rubs me the wrong way throughout that whole movie is the main character, Lewis. Define arrogance. Lewis from Meet the Robinsons. Kid is constantly asking questions. Kid clearly thinks he's the smartest man in the room, even before he is. Really up himself. Over curious, gets himself into mischief.
Yeah.
There's a part in the movie where he's just like, stay here, sit still. So he's essentially, I'll paint it out for you if you don't remember. He hijacks this guy, his son's time machine, who's come back to visit him in the past to save the future, whatever. And he hijacks that time machine and goes to the future, or hides, something like that. Breaks the time machine, or is a pretty big reason to why the time machine ends up crashing. Breaks one of only 2 time machines in existence. Is told by his son then to just stay guard of the time machine, stay down here so nobody sees you, and so the future doesn't unravel.
Yeah.
Kid can't even do that right. He goes walkabout, and the whole thing ends up unraveling. Gets his son, I forget his son's name, into all sorts of mischief. Lewis, they got it wrong. Because Marty didn't like you. This one infuriates me, and this is actually what the segment was written about, and I don't care who disagrees with me here. For some reason, Friends has been on my TikTok page a lot recently.
Yeah.
And one that really pissed me off to the point I think I commented, and I never commented on TikToks, was this fan edit of Ross from Friends. I watched that show with Gemma. I've only ever seen it once. I hated Ross. Everything that guy did from season 1 to season 10 pissed me off. And I think a lot of people thought that way, but clearly not enough if there's a fan edit of him out there. Nobody was really the antagonist in that show.
Yeah.
Was the other problem. But they made it seem like this guy, who in my opinion was the clear antagonist, a clear just outlier, did not fit the vibe of the group, would be the type of guy to walk in there and hug them all, even though nobody was asking. I don't even really want to go down the rabbit hole of what he did. Watch the show, come back, and you let me know what you thought of him. Because if you thought he was a stand-up guy, and if he was your favourite, my goodness, if he was your favourite, ever heard of a red flag? I kid you not. If I was ever on a date with someone, and we started talking about Friends, and they said my favourite's Ross, I would end the date right there.
Yeah.
Be like, there is no reason for that.
I normally stop the date when they bring up Friends.
That's probably a very fair call. That's probably, that's the right answer. They got it wrong.
Yeah. Next segment, Jake's final funeral request. This is, I put final in there just because I feel like a little bit of alliteration was needed. But there definitely will be more. There will be more.
The end of beginning.
Yeah. So this is assuming Jake dies first. This is what Marty has to do. And I have clipped it. It's from a movie. I haven't seen the movie, but I saw a clip of it. And I thought I either want to do this at Marty's funeral or I want Marty to do this at mine. And it has to happen. And so we're going to play the clip now. I'll probably include the clip here as well. But, no.
I mean, you can. Yeah. I just always be saying that, and I never do.
No, I probably won't either. But here, we're going to watch it together. I'm just going to move this in a bit.
Watch the truck. I'm going to go pay my final respects.
This is you, by the way, in the situation.
I just want to say a few words about my grandson.
Is that me? No.
No, that's you.
Always my little man. Even when he wasn't so little. We're going to miss you, little man.
Don't bury him yet. I'd love to add to the speeches.
Oh, fucking God.
End of intro to funeral speech.
That you have to the exact same song too.
That intro to my funeral.
And you need to use that song, and you need to do it that. You need to walk up with it on your shoulder, and you need to say, "Don't bury him yet. I need to pay my respects," or whatever you said. You need to do exactly that, and then you dance to the whole song.
Going to pay my final respects.
And then you go pause it, and you say, "End to intro."
Speech intro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've already got it rehearsed.
Yeah, perfect.
I might do a Frank and Marty as well. Final Frank and Marty.
Yeah, that as
well. But if you don't sing, that's
I'll come back just for it.
Imagine that. I'm singing like Never Enough. And then I read it. No.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That'd be the most Jake move. And then when we open the coffee. Alright. But I did have one tick this week.
Yeah.
Which just happened today, once again. I don't think of all the podcast topics on the day of the podcast, but there hasn't been much time between this and last pod, other than just us being at the snow. And you were there for all that. So I thought I'd share this story. Because it was quite interesting. It was a bit humbling for me, I won't lie, this experience. It was, I was working at the register today. I was checking out these people, and they had like a store credit to use. Yeah. So clearly of some importance. And so I asked them, why do you have a store credit? What's your in? What do you do? Yeah. They said, we're dancers. To which my response was, my girlfriend's a dancer. She's really good. And then I left it at that and realized, that probably sounds a bit strange.
Yeah.
And because they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
They might have thought, this guy dating a stripper? That's a bit crazy. And so I said, she does hip hop. I think she's really good. And then they went, oh, we don't do that. I went, all right, fine. You probably do some lame-ass dance anyway. And they said, we do contemporary dancing, which for the people out there, I know this now.
Yeah.
My response was, what's that? It's like a mixture. It's like the storytelling dance. It's the real dramatic one. It's the one, cool dancing.
Sucks.
Man. Yeah, shit dancing. Compared to hip-hop, not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But, they clearly thought they were this, that, and the other. And they're doing a show in Melbourne at the moment, as I went on to say, well, so what, you just do that and you got it in here? They said, oh, no, we're in town on tour at the moment. But I was really trying to spark the conversation. Yeah. I really wasn't getting... There was two of them. One man... I would make an assumption and say gay man, and a woman that quite literally didn't say anything to me.
Yeah.
So I was having a conversation with this guy. And to be fair, he was pleasant enough, but I was really wrenching information out of him.
Yeah. You were stroking the information.
Yeah,
you could say.
No, I don't know if I was doing that. I was really tugging the information from him.
Yeah, you were like edging it out.
Yeah,
you weren't getting much though.
Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough.
It was hard.
It was hard. It was really hard. No, but I did feel a bit like. So I ended up kind of not giving up, but I ended up just being like, I'll just get to work. I'll let you guys chat amongst yourself. I'll just scan the items. I had to go get the big boss to approve the store credit. And then, so once the big boss is over, I'm like, I can sort of leave this and start a new transaction now. But I started one right next to them. Big Boss, they are chatting her ear off.
Yeah.
They are just like completely flipped the switch, in my opinion. You know, I ended up finding out from eavesdropping while doing this other transaction, because as soon as that happened, I wasn't bothered with trying to talk to this new person. I was still hung up on what could have been.
Yeah.
And I was like, what was so wrong with me? Once again, maybe I just like loosened the pickle jar, and then once the lid was off, they were like a bit more chatty. So you could make an argument for that, but it seemed like they just didn't really like me as much as they liked her. I'm like, oh, what do you do? I'm like trying to be really interested, trying to get as much information about contemporary dancing. Newsflash, I don't give a shit. Not gonna lie. I ended up finding out by eavesdropping on their conversation. The person I'd served earlier in the day was the main character of the show. They were just the background characters. And even he was nicer to me, the main character, earlier in the day. And to be honest, he caught me very early in the day, and I wasn't very happy to be at work, and so I was probably a bit grumpy.
Yeah.
But I was more than pleasant to these people, and they really gave me not much. And they were giving my boss all that they could have asked for, to the point that they invited her to come watch the show. They were like, you should come watch, you'd love it. I'm like, I'm listening to what she's saying. She's being nothing but pleasant. She's being a great worker.
Yeah.
However, she is not yearning for this information like I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was down bad to hear about contemporary dancing, and you were giving me nothing. You were like, yeah, we do dancing, we do this, we do that. We're on tour at the moment. You probably wouldn't know. We're pretty big. Which doesn't even make sense. But then as soon as she comes up, oh my god, you would love our show. You have to come see our show. But don't bring Marty, because he's a loser. And he doesn't even know what contemporary dancing is. His girlfriend does hip-hop. I'd rather go watch a hip-hop show anyway.
Me too.
That was my tick for the week. But I'm sure they do a great show.
Yeah, me too. Frank and Marty?
You don't want to do... You don't want to do it?
Oh, I feel like I already told you this, because I know I told someone, but I don't know who.
Just say it. It either doesn't make it or it does.
So you know how there was this big rumor in 2012 that the world ended? The world was going to end in 2012?
Yeah.
Here's my theory. I was at a New Year's Eve party on the 31st of December 2011. Right before the clock strikes 12, I slip on some standing water in the kitchen and hit my head on the corner of a table. I am knocked out cold. For me, time stops, other than my imagination, which is still going. We are all currently living in my imagination on that night, and it is still going. And whenever I die in my imagination here, I will wake up back on the 31st of December 2011, and as soon as I wake up, it'll hit 2012 and the world will end, and I'll instantly die. So no one will ever be able to disprove this theory or prove it.
Can I throw in an alternative theory?
Yep.
And it doesn't take away from you being the main character, so you're going to want to hear it. I actually think it's... it's not just a Jake pod. I actually think I'm a part of this theory as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's because we were destined to be maybe messiahs, but maybe not. I've spoken about the story of the New Year's that I almost killed someone.
Really?
I've spoken about this on the podcast. We were standing on a trailer watching the fireworks, and I pushed him off, and he almost got hit by a car.
Yeah.
I would ballpark it to say that was either 2011 to 2012 or 2010 to... or 20... I'm actually pretty confident it was 2011 to 2012, so the same New Year's. It could have been the year after, but for the sake of the story, let's go with it was that year, because I'm 80% sure it was that year. I reckon my imagination... I reckon I killed him that day.
Yeah.
I reckon I did. I reckon it won't matter, because I think you're right. I think the world will end in 2012. Yeah. So I think it won't matter. I think I'd just maybe, I think if I didn't push him, it was prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah.
However, I think I actually killed him that day. But I think the moment I pushed him, I fell with him.
Yeah.
I think I died that day as well. And I think I fell into a coma.
Yeah.
So I think I'm in a similar situation as the slipping over and hitting your head. I think we're both living in our imaginations. And because we're just, destined to be, it just, it just clicked that way.
Lightning struck twice.
And
it hit us we were both laying face down on the dirt, and it hit us on our booties.
Yeah.
And
I think the moment I was pushing
Yeah.
and I fell, and the moment that car struck my head was the moment you
lightning
slipped.
Yeah, it happened at the same time, and lightning both gave us back shots, and then we our imagination combined.
So you're trying to tell me I invented Gangnam Style? We invented Gangnam Style.
I feel like that was before.
We invented the double chocolate chip cookie.
I invented Hagtua.
I invented Hagtua. You're telling me we invented Hagtua. You're telling me you're telling me Drake versus Kendrick was me? After all?
Wait a second, you're telling me that I made Kanye go up on the stage and take the award off Taylor Swift and say that it should have been Cardi B or whatever? That was me?
Are you telling me I wrote Driver's License?
No, that was me. That was me. You got Please, Please, Please.
No, I was listening to that today. I was listening to her new album. Oh, that was so funny as well today that happened. I was sitting... I got so many stories from today. I clearly had a great day. I had me and one of the guys I work with were standing like register to register, butt to butt. It was great. No, we were standing right next to each other, and a Sabrina Carpenter espresso came on over the speakers in the store, and it like started, and we were like both quiet, and then I saw him like turn to say something to me, but I cut him off and said, "You heard Sabrina Carpenter's? You heard Sab C's new album yet?" And he went, "I kid you not, I was just about to say, I feel like you listen to Sabrina Carpenter." And then I said, "Oh, I haven't heard it." And we just went about our work.
Yeah.
No, we had a good laugh about it.
I feel like that just reminded me of another story. On the way back down Bulla, when we get into my car, your dad, I almost said dad, but your dad, he put on some songs in the car. And they were like your usual hip dad songs. But then here came A Million Dreams. And I said, "Simon, you are speaking my language." And he said, "Huh?" And I said, "You're speaking my language." And he said, "You don't like this song?" And I said, No. I love this song.
And Dad loves it. Clearly more than you.
But here's what I'm saying, is before that, everyone else was singing along to certain songs. Or maybe we were singing along to the start of that song. And I said, maybe there's a dead zone of sound in the front right corner of this car now.
Coming from the driver's seat.
And he was like, no, I don't sing. And he was adamant about it until Hugh Jackman's chorus came on. And he turned to me and he went, "Every night a lion bird."
Yeah. No, I was more referencing the fact that he had the director's cut.
Yeah. Oh, he had the director's cut too.
He had the director's cut of the song, which was I only saw from the screen display on the car.
Yeah.
It was from some guy's Instagram.
Yeah.
Should we get into some Frank and Marty?
I reckon. We know what song it is. I've got it up. I drink champagne with kings and queens. The politicians praise my name. But those for someone else's dreams, the pitfalls of the man I became. For years and years, I chased the cheers, the crazy speed of always needing more. But when I stop and see you here, I remember who this was for. And from now on, these eyes will not be blinded by the lights. From now on, let's wait until tomorrow starts tonight. It starts tonight. And let this promise in me start like an anthem in my heart. From now